hello, hello. Konnichiwa, hola, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hope you're doing well. This is WRYB Radio. My name is James, aka Wabi Sabi J, aka your friendly neighborhood random person on the internet. And it is so good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. This is WRYB Radio, where we are learning about Jesus, ourselves, and what this life is really about. We are currently reading through the Bible with the goal to finish it before the end of the year. We read through chapters 14 through 20 in the book of Exodus, and we will continue our reading today with chapters 21 through 27. We last left off, the Israelites were finally rescued. They crossed the Red Sea. You guys need to watch The Prince of Egypt just to see how amazing that scene is. But they walk through the Red Sea, and the Lord brings down the sea upon the Egyptians because they tried to cross too. But the Lord just utterly destroyed them, took them out, and he's just showing that he is there in the moments of anxiety, in the moments where you feel like there's no way out, where you think you're left to die. And I hope you were as encouraged as I was. I enjoyed the reading, and I hope you enjoy the reading today as well. We're going to continue today. For those of you who are new, haven't done this before, we are going to be reading through the Bible and just giving reactions, but we kind of do it a little bit differently here. I'm not doing reactions as I read. We do reactions on the back end. The show is split up into two halves. The first half is just me reading straight through, no interruptions, no breaks. And then we take a little break. I go get some tea. I go get warmed up because it is still cold here. And then we come back. We share our thoughts, our feelings, our opinions, and we have a conversation about what we read. And that's the beauty of this. I honestly and truly believe that we should all read the Bible at least once to get an understanding of God's character, who he is, what his purpose is for us in this life. So this is what we're doing. We're reading through the Bible. Anyone who's joining will get I promise you'll get a clearer understanding of who God is. Even if you've read it through before, there's always something to gain from it. There's always something to learn. I have read the Bible through many times, and I can never say, oh yeah, I've had enough. I've read it all. I've lifted every nook and every cranny and seen every corner of the Bible that all there is to see. I can never say that. I'm always saying, oh wow, like I never saw it that way before. And the Lord's always showing me new things. So the way this works, like I said, we read through the chapters, no breaks, no interruptions. If you're more than me, let that be said. Hey Ruth, welcome. Doesn't mean that you can't do any reactions. Feel free to put me on in the background as you are cleaning, getting home from work, getting home from school. This is my lovely attempt at creating a radio show for you guys that will be enriching, fulfilling, and just help you be fulfilling. Just something that will just be an enriching part of your day. So with that said in mind, I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to come back. Feel free to put me on in the background as you're doing your thing, and I don't mind at all. Feel free to put things in the chat. Just let me know that you're there, and then that'll so because I probably won't be responding to things as I'm reading. I want you to just hear the word more than you hear me. I feel like I'm talking too much already. So we're gonna do a little transition to the Bible, and then we'll begin reading. So if you could open your Bibles to Exodus chapter 21. As you guys are doing that, I'm just going to say hi to some people in the chat. What up, Ruth? What up, Sin? Oh, Sin, it's been a minute. It's been so long. I hope all is well in your part of the world. And it's nice. It's nice to see you guys in the chat. I've been well. Things are going well. It's pretty, other than it's being cold. That's the only thing I would like to change right now is I just wish it was cold. It was warmer. Why did I say that? I wish it was warmer, but I'm managing. I'm making it. I've dealt with it for this long. I can deal with it a little bit longer. I'll be okay. But other than that, I'm good. God is good. Woke me up this morning, started me on my way, and I'm looking forward to getting into the Word. I'm looking forward to reading. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. Hope that you enjoy it as well. I'm going to hit some buttons over here so we get to the right place. It's warm here, but my mom is dealing with minus degrees. Wow. Yeah. No thanks, man. No thanks. That's below freezing. Oh my gosh. So I think the coldest it gets here is maybe like 4 degrees Celsius. I think that's the coldest I've seen it get, which is pretty cold. And I think I want it to get colder only if it snows. That's the only way I enjoy the cold is if it snows. But if it's not snowing, then what are we doing? If it's not snowing, then why is the cold here? Just go away. So I just wanted to get warmer. And I think it's going to get warmer this week over the next like 7 to 10 days. I looked at the weather this morning and the weather forecast, and I said, oh yes, this is my kind of weather. We're talking about 14, 17, 22, 15, 6. This is all in Celsius, by the way. Sorry to all of y'all in the States or in other places that use Fahrenheit. But these are good numbers, okay? Just to let you know if you guys aren't familiar with Celsius. 17, 22, 15, 17, 6. This is great. This is light jacket weather. This is go out and get you some sun type weather. You can go for a nice walk, a good run. The sun's going to be out. So I'm hoping that this is the sign that good weather is coming along the way. Because what I don't want to happen is that we have this streak of warm days and then it drops again. It drops. And I'm just like, why did you do that? I'll be like, Lord, why did you do this to me? Why did you tease me like this? Just keep the weather warm. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Please let it stay warm. Ruth, you're in Florida. I'm low-key hating, but yes, I'm in agreement. Please let it stay warm. You got a puppy? That's so cool. Chat knows that I am not. I enjoy other people's animals, other people's pets. I'm good on the. Maybe one day I'll come down around to it. But right now I'm good. It's just me and my wife right now. And we're hoping to bring some children into the family someday. But pets, bro, I don't know, bro. I'm just not for it. So maybe one day. It'll probably be a dog, though. What kind of... My wife, she likes what's it called? What is this? She likes the dog that my mom has, which is a golden doodle. It's a golden doodle. He's adorable. He's a ball of energy and fun, and we enjoy him. And whenever we go over to my mom's house, we have the best time with him. But then when we leave, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this is your responsibility now. I don't want to. I'm good. But if we were to get a dog, that's the kind of dog it would be. They are expensive, and they don't live long enough. That's the other thing. When you buy a dog, you're basically buying a ticket to sadness. You're like, I'm just going to be, all right, I'm going to enjoy this time with this animal, and it's going to break my heart in 15 years. Yep, let me sign up for this. All right, friends, family, here we are. Hope you turned in your Bibles. This is WRYB Radio. My name is James, and if you don't know what the RYB stands for, that's the wrong button. Read your Bible. That's the right button. We out here reading the Bible with the goal of finishing it before the end of the year. And we're going to just do a couple of times, just take like, 20, 30 minutes, just do some reading. So how this works, again, it's going to reiterate. Also, I got the things at the bottom of the screen. Like, check that out. So at the bottom of the screen, just some ways to interact with the stream. Is that what I'm looking for? Instructions. That's the word. So as it says on the bottom of the screen, anything that maybe made you uncomfortable, anything that you liked, didn't like, anything that you just like to discuss, make a highlight or a note. You can also use the channel points. We can put the channel points on the other half of the stream, but just make notes, because we're gonna have a good time having a little discussion. So I'm gonna begin. I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit more, turn me up a little bit more, and we're gonna begin. And so where we last left off, before I begin, so the Israelites are freed. Moses is going up to the mountain, to Mount Sinai, to meet with God. He's going to give them the commandment, and he's just basically going to give them instructions on how to conduct themselves as a people. So with that said, let's begin. Exodus 21. Now these are the rules you shall set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years in the seventh, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. If he comes in single, he shall go out single. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out alone. But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him to God, and he shall bring him to the door or the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall be his slave forever. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has broken faith with her. If he designates her for his son, he shall deal with her as a daughter. If he takes another wife to himself, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, or her marital rights. And if he does not do these three things for her, she shall go out for nothing, without payment of money. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. But if he did not lie in wait for him, but God let him fall into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place to which he may flee. But if a man willfully attacks another to kill him by cunning, you shall take him from my altar, that he may die. Whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put to death. Whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him, shall be put to death. Whoever curses his father or his mother shall be put to death. When men quarrel, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and the man does not die but takes to his bed, then if the man rises again and walks outdoors with his staff, he who struck him shall be clear. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall have him thoroughly healed. When a man strikes his slave, male or female, with a rod, and the slave dies under his hand, he shall be avenged. But if the slave survives a day or two, he is not to be avenged, for the slave is his money. When men strive together and hit a pregnant woman so that her children come out, but there is no harm, the one who hit her shall surely be fined, as the woman's husband shall impose on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if there is harm, then you shall pay life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. When a man strikes the eye of his slave, male or female, and destroys it, he shall let the slave go free because of his eye. If he knocks out the tooth of his slave, male or female, he shall let the slave go free because of his tooth. When an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall not be liable. But if the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has been warned but has not been kept in, and it kills a man or woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner shall also be put to death. If a ransom is imposed on him, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is imposed on him. If it gores a man's son or daughter, he shall be dealt with according to this same rule. If the ox gores a slave, male or female, the owner shall give to their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. When a man opens a pit, or when a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make restoration. He shall give money to its owner, and the dead beast shall be his. When one man's ox butts another's so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and share its price, and the dead beast also they shall share. Or if it is known that the ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has not kept it in, he shall repay ox for ox, and the dead beast shall be his. If a man steals, chapter 22, if a man steals an ox or a sheep and kills it or sells it, he shall repay 5 oxen for an ox, 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief is found breaking in and is struck so that he dies, there shall be no blood guilt for him. But if the sun has risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. He shall surely pay. If he has nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the stolen beast is found alive in his possession, whether it is an ox or a donkey or a sheep, he shall pay double. If a man causes a field or a vineyard to be grazed over, or left his beast loose and it feeds in another man's field, he shall make restitution from the best in his own field and in his own vineyard. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns so that the stacked grain or the standing grain or the field is consumed, he who started the fire shall make full restitution. If a man gives to his neighbor money or goods to keep safe, and it is stolen from the man's house, then if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief is not found, the owner of the house shall come near to God to show whether or not he has put his hand to his neighbor's property. For every breach of trust, whether it is for an ox, for a donkey, for a sheep, for a cloak, or for any kind of lost thing of which one says, "This is it," the case of both parties shall come before God. The one who God condemns shall pay double to his neighbor. If a man gives to his neighbor a donkey or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep safe, and it dies or is injured or is driven away without anyone seeing it, an oath by the Lord shall be between them both to see whether or not he has put his hand to his neighbor's property. The owner shall accept the oath, and he shall not make restitution. But if it is stolen from him, he shall make restitution to its owner. If it is torn by beasts, let him bring it as evidence. He shall not make restitution for what has been torn. If a man borrows anything of his neighbor, and it is injured or dies, the owner not being with it, he shall make full restitution. If the owner was with it, he shall not make restitution. If it was hired, it came for its hiring fee. If a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall give the bride price for her and make her his wife. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money equal to the bride price for virgins. You shall not permit a sorceress to live. Whoever lies with an animal shall be put to death. Whoever sacrifices to any god other than the Lord alone shall be devoted to destruction. You shall not wrong a sojourner or oppress him, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. You shall not mistreat any widow or fatherless child. If you do mistreat them, and they cry out to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will burn, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives will become widows, and your children fatherless. If you lend money to any of my people with you who is poor, you shall not be like a moneylender to him, and you shall not exact interest from him. If you ever take your neighbor's cloak in pledge, you shall return it to him before the sun goes down. For that is his only covering, and it is his cloak for his body. And what else shall he sleep? And if he cries to me, I will hear, for I am compassionate. You shall not revile God, nor curse a ruler of your people. You shall not delay to offer from the fullness of your harvest and from the outflow of your presses. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. You shall do the same with your oxen and your sheep. 7 days shall be its mother, and on the 8th day you shall give it to me. You shall be consecrated to me. Therefore you shall not eat any flesh that is torn by beasts in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. Chapter 23. You shall not spread a false report. You shall not join hands with a wicked man to be a malicious witness. You shall not fall in with many to do evil, nor shall you bear witness in a lawsuit, siding with the many so as to pervert justice, nor shall you be partial to a poor man in his lawsuit. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey is going astray, you shall bring it back to him. If you see the donkey of the one who hates you lying down under its burden, you shall refrain from leaving him with it. You shall rescue it with him. You shall not pervert the justice due to your poor in his lawsuit. Keep far from a false charge, and do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will not acquit the wicked. And you shall take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the clear-sighted and subverts the cause of those who are in the right. You shall not oppress a sojourner. You know the heart of a sojourner, for you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. For 6 years you shall sow your land and gather in its yield. But the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, that the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field may eat. You shall do likewise with your vineyard and with your olive orchard. 6 days you shall do your work, but on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may have rest, and the son of your servant woman and the alien may be refreshed. Pay attention to all that I have said to you, and make no mention of the names of other gods, nor let it be heard on your lips. 3 times in the year you shall keep a feast to me. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. As I commanded you, you shall eat unleavened bread for 7 days at the appointed time in the month of Abib, for in it you came out of Egypt. None shall appear before me empty-handed. You shall keep the feast of the harvest, the first fruits of your labor, of what you sow in the field. You shall keep the feast of ingathering at the end of the year, when you gather in from the field the fruit of your labor. 3 times in the year you shall all your males appear before the Lord God. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with anything leavened, nor the fat of my feast remain until the morning. The best of the firstfruits of your ground you shall bring into the house of the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you on the way and to bring you to the place that I have prepared. Pay careful attention to obey him and his voice. Do not rebel against him, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if you carefully obey his voice and do all that I say, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. When my angel goes before you and brings to you the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I blot them out, you shall not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do as they do, but you shall utterly overthrow them and break their pillars in pieces. You shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from among you. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I will fulfill the number of your days. I will send my terror before you and throw into confusion all the people against whom you shall come, and I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you. And I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites from before you. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and wild beasts multiply against you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you, until you have increased and possessed the land. And I will set your border from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines, and from the wilderness to the Euphrates. For I will give the inhabitants of the land into your hand. For you shall make no covenant with them and their gods. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their gods, it will surely be a snare to you. Chapter 24. Then he said to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship from afar. Moses alone shall come near to the Lord, but the others shall not come near, and the people shall not come up with him." Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the rules. And all the people answered with one voice and said, "All the words that the Lord has spoken, we will do." And Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord. He rose early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the people of Israel, who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen to the Lord. And Moses took half the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he threw against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people. And they said, "All that the Lord has spoken we will do, and we will be obedient." And Moses took the blood and threw it on the people and said, "Behold, the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words." Then Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up, and they saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet, as it were, a pavement of sapphire stone, like the very heaven for clearness. And he did not lay his hand on the chief men of the people of Israel. And they beheld God, and they ate and drank. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain, and wait there, that I may give you the tablets of stone with the law of the commandment, which I have written for their instruction." So Moses and his assistant went up into the mountain of God. And they said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we return to you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a dispute, let him go to them." And Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord dwelt on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the 7th day, he called out to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on top of the mountain, in sight of the people of Israel. Moses entered the cloud and went up on the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Chapter 25. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the people of Israel, that they may take from me a contribution. From every man whose heart moves him, you shall receive the contribution from me. And this is the contribution that you shall receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue and purple scarlet yarns, and fine twined linen, goat's hair, tanned ram skins, goat skins, acacia wood, oil for the lamps, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, onyx stones stones for setting, for the ephod and for the breastpiece. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell in their midst. Exactly as I show you concerning the pattern of the tabernacle and all of its furniture, so you shall make it. They shall make an ark of acacia wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be its length, and a cubit and a half its breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. You shall overlay it with pure gold. Inside and outside you shall overlay it, and you shall make on it a molding of gold around it. You shall cast 4 rings of gold on them, and put on it its 4 feet, 2 rings on the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. You shall make poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. And you shall put poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. And you shall put the poles into the rings on the side of the ark to carry the ark by them. The poles of the ark shall remain in the rings of the ark. They shall not be taken from it. And you shall put into the ark the testimony that I shall give you. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be its length, and a cubit and a half its breadth. You shall make 2 cherubim of gold. Of hammered work you shall make them on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make one cherub on the one end and one cherub on the other end. Of one piece with the mercy seat shall you make the cherubim on its two ends. The cherubim shall spread their wings above, overshadowing the mercy seat with their wings. Their faces to one another, toward the mercy seat, shall the faces of the cherubim be. And you shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I shall give you. There I will meet with you. And from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubim that are on the ark of the testimony, I will speak with you about all that I will give you in the commandment for the people of Israel. You shall make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length, a cubit its breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. You shall overlay it with pure gold and make a molding of gold around it. And you shall make a rim around it, a handbreadth wide, and a molding of gold around the rim. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and fasten the rings to the 4 corner at its 4 legs. Close to the frame shall the rings lie, as holders for the poles to carry the table. You shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and the table shall be carried with these. You shall make its plates and its dishes for incense, and its flagons and its bowls with which to pour drink offerings. You shall make them of pure gold. And you shall set the bread of the presence on the table before me regularly. You shall make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand shall be made of hammered work. Its base, its stem, its cups, its calyxes, and its flowers shall be of one piece with it. And there shall be branches. There shall be 6 branches going out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side of it, and 3 branches of the lampstand out the other side of it. 3 cups made like almond blossoms, each with calyx and flower on one branch. So for the 6 branches going out of the lampstand. And on the lampstand itself there shall be 4 cups made like almond blossoms, with their calyxes and flowers. And a calyx of one piece with it shall be under each pair of the 6 branches going from out of the lampstand. Their calyxes and their branches shall be of one piece with it. With the whole of it, a single piece of a hammer work of pure gold. You shall make 7 lamps for it, and the lamp shall be set up so as to give light on the space in front of it. Its tongs and their trays shall be of pure gold. It shall be made with all these utensils out of a talent of pure gold. And see that you make them after the pattern for them, which is being shown to you on the mountain. Chapter 26. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen and blue and purple and scarlet yarns, and you shall make them with cherubim skillfully worked into them. The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits, and all the curtains shall be the same size. 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another. You shall make loops of blue on the edge of the outermost curtain in the first set. Likewise, you shall make loops on the edge of the outermost curtain in the second set. 50 loops you shall make on the one curtain, and 50 loops you shall make on the edge of the curtain that is in the second set, and the loops shall be opposite one another. And you shall make 50 clasps of gold, and couple the curtains to one another with the clasps, so that the tabernacle may be a single whole. You shall also make curtains of goat's hair for a tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains you shall make. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains shall be the same size. You shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and the 6th curtain you shall make double over the front at the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is in the outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the second set. You shall make 50 clasps of bronze, and put the clasps into loops, and couple the tent together that it may be a single whole. And the part that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. And the extra that remains in the length of the curtains, the cubit on the one side and the cubit on the other side, shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side to cover it. And you shall make a tent covering of tanned ram skins, and a covering of goat skins on top. You shall make upright frames for the tabernacle of acacia wood. 10 cubits shall be the length of a frame, and a cubit and a half the breadth of each frame. There shall be 2 tenons in each frame for fitting together. You shall do for all the frames of the tabernacle. You shall make the frames for the tabernacle, 20 frames for the tabernacle, 20 frames for the south side, and 40 bases of silver you shall make under 20 frames. 2 bases under one frame for its 2 tenons, and 2 bases under the next frame for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, 20 frames, and there 40 bases of silver, 2 bases under one frame, and 2 bases under the next frame. And for the rear of the tabernacle westward, you shall make 6 frames. You shall make 2 frames for the corners of the tabernacle in the rear, and they shall be separate beneath, but joined at the top at the first ring. Thus shall it be with both of them. They shall form the 2 corners, and there shall be 8 frames, with their bases of silver, 16 bases. 2 bases under the one frame, and 2 bases under another frame. You shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the frames of the other side of the tabernacle at the rear westward. The middle bar, halfway up the frames, shall run from end to end. You shall overlay the frames with gold, and shall make their rings of gold for their holders for the bars, and you shall overlay the bars with gold. Then you shall erect the tabernacle according to the plan for it that you were shown on the mountain. And you shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen. It shall be made with cherubim, skillfully worked into it. And you shall hang on it 4 pillars of acacia overlaid with gold, with hooks of gold on 4 bases of silver. And you shall hang the veil from the clasps, and bring the ark of the testimony in there with the veil. And the veil shall separate for you the most holy place from the most holy. You shall put the mercy seat on the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And you shall set the tabernacle outside the veil, and the lampstand on the south side of the tabernacle opposite the table. And you shall put the table on the north side. You shall make a screen for the entrance of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen, embroidered with needlework. And you shall make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia and overlay them with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold, and you shall cast 5 bases of bronze for them. Chapter 27. You shall make the altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits. And you shall make horns for it on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay it with bronze. You shall make posts for it to receive its ashes, and shovels and basins and forks and fire pans. You shall make all its utensils of bronze. You shall also make for it a grating, a network of bronze. And on the net you shall make 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. And you shall set it under the ledge of the altar, so that the net extends halfway down the altar. And you shall make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. And the poles shall be put through the rings, so that the poles are on the 2 sides of the altar when it is carried. You shall make it hollow with boards, as it has been shown to you on the mountain, so it shall be made. You shall make the court of the tabernacle. On the south side the court shall have the hangings of the fine twined linen, 100 cubits long for one side. Its 20 pillars and their 20 bases shall be of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise, for its length on the north side there shall be hangings, 100 cubits long. Its pillars and their bases 20, of bronze, but the hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side there shall be hangings for 50 cubits, with 10 pillars and 10 bases. The breadth of the court on the front to the east shall be 50 cubits. The hanging for the one side of the grate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and 3 bases. On the other side the hanging shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and 3 bases. For the gate of the court there shall be a screen 20 cubits long, of blue and purple and scarlet yarns and fine twined linen, embroidered with needlework. It shall have 4 pillars, and with them 4 bases. All the pillars around the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their bases of bronze. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits. the breadth 50, and the height 5 cubits, with hangings of fine twined linen and bases of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle for every use, and all its pegs, and all the pegs of the court shall be of bronze. You shall command the people of Israel that they bring to you beaten olive oil for the light, that a lamp may be regularly set up to burn. In the tent of meeting outside the veil that is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall tend it from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever, to be observed throughout their generations by the people of Israel. Okay, lovely people. We just got finished reading through. That was a lot. Okay, it was a lot of uh, it was a lot of like numbers and things, and we're all gonna break it down. I don't know if you made any notes or highlight anything. I know I did, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about it. On the other half of the stream, we're gonna take a little break. I'm gonna throw some music on, and yeah, we're gonna have a little chat about it. Thank you so much. This is WRYB Radio. My name is James, and if you don't know what the WRYB stands for, that's what we're doing every day. Let me put another song on real fast before we go to our break. I'm trying to think of what song I want to put on, but I'm trying to find something that's kind of like appropriate to this, but I don't know. We're gonna put on some Decryptos. We're just gonna keep it simple, stupid. All right. So this is Blessed from Every Direction. Yes, this is a good bop. Enjoy it. And I'll see you on the other side. WRYB Radio. This is James, aka Wabi Sabi J, aka your friendly neighborhood random person on the internet. This is the crypto's favorite child. Ow. Ooh. I got my tea. I'm warmed up. It's a little cold, but we're gonna be okay because I got my tea. All right. Hope you guys are warmed up too. You guys are feeling okay. We just did a good hefty bit of reading. Let me go back to that. I need to delete. I need to put that song in its rightful place. So this is a. Actually, no. Yeah, I need to put that song in my my Christmas, not my Christmas playlist, my worship around the world playlist. Let me put that up there real fast. Okay. All right. So we read through a lot. For those of you who are actually listening and making notes, shout outs to y'all because it was a lot. I know it, and it probably felt like, bro, when is this gonna end? It just keeps going on, and every time like we think we're gonna move on to something, it's just like a different part. We talked about the tabernacle like heavy. And like, well, what's the tabernacle? What in the world is all this stuff? Ow. We're gonna get into it. I'm trying to warm myself up, also not burn myself. Okay. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you took some notes. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up some stuff first to like help make things a bit clearer. Okay. Let me see. This is exciting though. It's good. Let me see. So we read about the tabernacles a good bit. I'm looking up a picture right now to show to you guys when we finally get to talking about the tabernacle. There was 5 chapters on the tabernacle. I think there's actually one more. Actually, no, that's it. No. That's it. The next chapter is about the priest's garments. This is a good picture. Oh yeah, this is a good picture. So I'll pull that up. And then when we talk about the tabernacle, we'll pull that up. What? Whoa, wait a minute. That's not, how did I end up here? All right. All right. Yeah. I'll put this over here. Yes, sir. How y'all foreground folk doing? Y'all okay? Y'all alive? Y'all feeling all right? So, this is the part of the stream where we talk about the things that stood out to us. This might have been something that you liked, something that made you feel uncomfortable, something that like, what did I say? Something that you liked, something that you disliked, something that maybe made you angry, something that made you uncomfortable, something that might have been a little hard to grasp the first time you heard it. But it's okay because the Bible is not a set of rules. It's an invitation to learn more about Jesus, about ourselves, and what this life is about. So let's dig in. Let me do this. I'm pulling up something else. Let's see now. Amen. So, let me tell you, when I began the reading today, we go into chapter 21, and we're talking about slaves straight up. That's like the first chapter that we read. I said, oh, brother. I said, oh, Oh, brother.
Oh, brother.
Yo. So for anyone, I mean, so let's say for anyone who cares, like it should. So this is something that is discussed often by everybody, people who have read the Bible, people who haven't read the Bible. And I think it's interesting that people who haven't read the Bible bring this up, because anytime people want to discredit the Bible, discredit Jesus, or they want to demonize or vilify God, one of the things that gets brought up is the topic of slavery and how God seems to be for slavery. Slavery doesn't care about slaves and all this. And while I understand that perspective, I can't say it's logical. It's coming from, I believe it's coming from an emotional place to just outright just, well, slavery's in the Bible, and it seems like it, God's okay with slavery, so I'm just gonna, let's throw the whole thing away, just burn it up, throw the whole thing away. I don't think that's the proper response. I think when we come to the Bible with anything, whenever we read the Bible, we have to admit that we have some preconceived notions about life, about the Bible, and we have to do our best to quote unquote leave those things at the door, right, and let the Bible speak for itself. So often what happens is we take what has happened and what is still going on in some places in the world, what we call, chattel slavery, people being taken advantage of and beaten and worked to the death. We take that and we put that lens on the Bible, on slavery's version on the Bible's version of slavery. When I think when we let the Bible speak for itself and we go from the Bible to us instead of from us to the Bible. I know if you can imagine it, when we go on the topic of slavery, before we get back to how the Bible refers to slavery, when we go back in history, the first thing that we hit is our version of history, our version of slavery, the chattel slavery, the taking advantage of people, the beating and the breaking of families, and the disregard for human life, and the demonization of slaves and people, and telling them that they aren't worthy of human beings and this is all that they're worth. Like, that's the first thing that we get to if we were to rewind the clock on slavery. But then we have to go back more. And I believe that when we read the Bible and when it talks about slavery, it'll give us a better view, a better perspective on who God is, what he did, and what his purpose is. And then we'll see that humankind and mankind warped that into something for themselves. So let's get into it. I was just like, man, this is going to be a big topic, and I want to get it right. Be honest, we can't talk about it all in just this one stream or whatever, but I'm going to do my best to speak with wisdom. And, I would encourage you to just study things for yourself. I'll put some things in the Discord that you can look up later. But when you read this and you're like, there's slaves, like there's slavery in the Bible. Like, what is this? What? I understand your first reaction would be an immediate to close the Bible and throw it away. But the things, what do you say? I want to ask or make some points. It's like I have a couple of questions to ask, and then like a point. Like the first question is the slavery that is discussed here in the Bible, the slavery that we read about here in the Bible, the same as many have experienced some 400 some years ago, and some that are experienced today, where people are disregarded as human beings. They are in change. They are not cared for. Like, is that the same version, or is God presenting something different here? And I think if you're honest, and when we thoroughly read this, I believe we'll all get to a conclusion that these are two different versions of slavery. I found a pretty good resource on someone discussing how the version of slavery that the Bible presents and the version of slavery that we read about in the Bible versus the chattel slavery that we've read about in recent years, or people are experiencing in recent years, and the differences. So it is vastly different. I just want to say that it is vastly different. When Moses goes up to the mountain and he's getting these laws about how the people are to be governed and how they are to live their lives, this is God's chosen people, the Israelites, and his goal is to set them apart from all the other surrounding nations. So remember that they just were freed from the Egyptians, who had enslaved them for 400 something years, who were beating them and not caring for them. They worked them to the bone. They made them get their own break. They did not give them great conditions. And now God is presenting, like, I won't say his version of slavery. I don't know how to put this, but he's re-engineered it. And so now there is there in this, and the slavery that the Israelites are commanded to do, they are to care for their neighbor. They are to treat them as equals. They aren't to take advantage of them. There's freedom to be had. There's a Sabbath day. There's a day of rest. There's no version of slavery where that is happening. And so, man, this is not a easy conversation, and that's okay. This is okay. This is what this is about, and this is okay. I'm not. I guess I shouldn't just try to go over it like it's an easy conversation, because what God. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. So it says, if he comes in single, he shall go out single. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. And where's the part? I just read it somewhere. Let me see. It is. This is hard. This is hard, but they were meant to treat the slaves, and and the other thing I want to present is the Hebrew word for this is more akin to servant than slave. Oh, here it is. Duh. Right here in verse 2. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th year he shall go out free for nothing. So this wasn't a, hey, you are going to serve me for the rest of your days. It's 6 years and you are done. If you come in single, that's how you leave. If you come in married, that's how you leave. But if the master gives him a wife and she bears him sons, then the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out alone. That's interesting, right? But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him to God, he shall bring him to the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through it all, and he shall be his slave forever. And so, man, that is interesting. Like, I need to study this more, because I'm like, yeah, bro. So if he marries his daughters, then they basically belong to like his quote unquote father-in-law, and he shall go out alone. But then if he says, I will be with him forever, he shall like be his slave forever. Man, yeah, this is something I want to study more. But when I read this, I read that the Hebrew slaves, they have protection, they have like rights and things that will ensure that they are protected and they aren't treated unfairly. If they are injured, then the same injury shall happen to the master, whoever struck him. If the man strikes the eye of the slave or the female and destroys it, he shall let the slave go free because of his eye. If he knocks out the tooth of his slave, male or female, he shall let the slave go free because of his tooth. So they aren't. We understand, like, the Israelites are still human; they're still fallen. And I heard someone teach it this way, that it was presented this way. Basically, God was just putting regulations on the act of slavery, basically like to separate the Israelites from the other people. And it's because of like the condition of the human heart. You think about, there's another part in the Bible that we'll read about later, when the Pharisees asked Jesus, well, like, why does God allow divorce? Why is divorce okay? That, like, you say one thing, but then the Torah says another. It's like, well, God allowed divorce because of the hardness of man's heart. And so, the same way that God is kind of regulating those things, he's like regulating divorce so that no one just divorces all, willy-nilly. Like, he's regulating this because, like, he's like, okay, like, I am permitting you to buy slaves and have Hebrew slaves because of the hardness of your heart. But you're not going to do it like the other nations that you see around you. You're not going to do it like the Egyptians where you've been rescued from. Like, you're going to do it the way I tell you to do it. And, the way I tell you to do it is, no matter what position that you're in, there's going to be equality among all of you. And, yeah. I think that's the best thing I can say, is that the slavery that we read about in Exodus 21 and in other places as well is vastly different from the version of slavery that we have read about, seen about in recent years, and that people are still experiencing in recent years. And I think it's unfair and illogical to discredit God and the whole Bible because of a version of slavery that is different from the version of slavery that we read about in the Bible. So I understand why it makes someone uncomfortable. I understand why, like, the idea of owning someone is just like not okay. And I get that. I'm with you 100%. But I don't think that qualifies I don't think that qualifies having the thought of, okay, well, let me just, God is messed up, God is evil, I don't want anything to do with him. The Bible is messed up, the Bible is evil, I don't want anything to do with it. Like, we know that people took advantage of the Bible and came up with versions to enslave people. We know that people used slavery for their own selfish gain. Whether they proclaim to be Christian or not, the fact that they did not abide to the laws that God presented, they are not his people. They're not. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. There are better people who can speak on that than I can, and I wish I could speak on it better. I'm going to study so that I can speak on it better at some point in the future. I think maybe we'll do like a stream where we can talk about that in a longer format. But in the meantime, I'm going to present some resources in the Discord that will help all of us understand, okay, like, how do we navigate when the Bible talks about slavery? How do we navigate when how do we navigate when you feel uncomfortable reading about this, or if you hear someone else talking about, oh, well, the Bible is, they allowed slavery, da, da, da. Like, how do we navigate those things? So I want to encourage you, hey, God is still good. He's still wise, and he's worth following, and this Bible is worth reading. So with that said, I would like us to continue. Look for the info in the Discord at some point. So in today's reading, I really enjoyed it because God just makes it very plain about people's belongings and their oxen and their goats. He's given people agency and accountability so that no one can say, oh, my ox it just stabbed someone, it just gored someone, it just ran him with the horn in it. It is what it is. Like I like it's just very plain. It's just like, bro, this is how we're going to do things. If an ox gores a man, the ox shall be stoned, its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall not be liable. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. If an ox things happen, life happens, and that's what I enjoy about God. He's like, he has the wisdom to be like, hey, life happens, and this is how we are going to govern ourselves, Israelites. If an ox gores somebody, we're gonna kill it. We're not gonna eat the flesh because something is wrong with that ox. But the owner shall not be held responsible. But hey, if that ox been having some issues and everybody know, hey, that ox has been goring people, it did it a couple times before, and we told the owner, and the owner's just like, I don't care, bro. I ain't going. Man, I don't care. This is my ox. My ox do whatever I want to. Man, you can't tell me what to do. But and so he doesn't keep it in, and then the ox goes and kills a person. We're gonna kill the ox, and then we're gonna kill the owner. And so it puts you in a position to go, oh, let me make sure my ox is taken care of. Let me make sure my ox are obedient and like they do what I tell them to do. Okay. All right. So I think that's cool. So he's kind of laying down these laws about restitution and justice and how to live amongst one another. Because the Israelites is not a small group of people. I think there's at least 1 million. I remember reading somewhere it's like 600,000 people, not counting women and children. So we're close to like 2 million people. So, and people are people. The same way they get on our nerves today, and we're bumping into people, and we're going where we're going, and people get on our nerves. People steal, animals bite you, people's pets bite you, and we get in each other's way. It wasn't any different when the Israelites were around. So there had to be some laws laid down. There had to be some laws about how to govern yourselves and live with one another. This is what I mean. So in chapter 22, if a man steals an ox or a sheep, kills it or sells it, and you're like, whoa, people steal? Like, yeah, Israelites stole. They did stuff, Okay. They were not a perfect people. They were a chosen people. It's very different. But, if a thief is found and is breaking in and he strikes so that he dies, there shall be no blood guilt for him. So, hey, bro, it's like, protect my house, man. If a thief is found breaking in and I beat him and, he dies, I mean, it is what it is, cuz, like, yeah. But if the sun has risen on him, there shall be blood guilt for him. He shall surely pay. So it's just God is just presenting these laws for people to govern themselves amongst one another. Yesterday we read, I didn't even go over this yesterday. Yesterday we read about the 10 Commandments. And that was God giving laws about how people are to interact with him. You shall place no other gods before me. There you shall make no idols. You shall not make any carved image. You shall not take the name of the Lord and God in vain. You're gonna remember the Sabbath day. And and all these things. There are things God is presenting laws to help or guide the people and instruct the people on how to interact with him. And then he goes on to present laws on how they are to interact with each other. And I love it. I think it's great. It's God being amongst his people, being with human. He's not far away. He's not far away, and he's not just letting them do whatever they want to do. These are his chosen people. He's going to instruct them. These are his laws, but they're also not, you need to do this, or like overbearing laws. Like we just paint God as like, it's very, very like overbearing and like hammer fist and like, do this or else. And I read here, these are just laws to instruct you on how to interact with one another, because these things were not happening amongst the other nations. Remember, like, he just freed them from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians were ruthless. They were not kind people. They weren't visually. Hey, hi. That was loud. Hi, irashai masen. Welcome. Welcome back. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm here. I've been back. This is the second stream this week. Yeah. Since the hiatus, we went to Korea for a little bit to help my wife's brother just fly away. Arigatou gozaimashita. Welcome. I hope you're well. Hope you're doing okay. Yes. How are you? How are you? You good? Como si, como sa? Is what, so. Let's see. Mama. Well, it's good to see you in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. We are doing our Bible reading today. We just read through chapters 21 and 27 in the book of Exodus. You're just working. Oh, you're at work. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Well, feel free to put me on in the background while you're working. This is WRYB radio. So, just like any normal radio show, just put me on in the background. I'll be your background person. You'll be my foreground people. We'll have a good time. I'm just out here just chatting about Exodus 21 through 27. God has given his laws to his people about how to interact with him and accept no ad trails. Yeah, that's the only thing. There's no ads. We don't have any commercials except like the ads that come for like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But other than that, it's just your normal, lovely what's the Temu version of your classic radio show. This is WRYB Radio. If you don't know what the RYB stands for, that's what we'll be doing out here as much as we can. We are currently reading through the Bible with the goal of finishing it before the end of the year. Okay. So this is how God is instructing his people to interact amongst his people. So you shall not mistreat any widow or fatherless child. If you lend money to any of my people, of you who is poor, you shall not be a money lender. You shall not exact interest. Amen. Praise the Lord. And yeah, so this is how he wants them to interact with one another. You shall not spread a false report. You shall not fall in with the many to do evil, nor shall you bear witness in a lawsuit. And I enjoy this part. This is the part I enjoy. Chapter 23, verse 4. If you meet the enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall bring it back to him. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying down under its burden, you shall refrain from leaving him with it. You shall rescue it with him. So if you got beef with somebody and if you see the donkey like on top of the person, he's like, don't you leave him there. Like you will help him. You will help your enemy. And this kind of brings me to Matthew, where he talks about praying for your enemies and blessing those who persecute you. And, we like to make this distinction between the New Testament and the Old Testament, but they are united together. Like the they are wanting the same thing, which is love even for your enemies. So God is the same through and through, yesterday, today, and forever. Okay. And then we have the festivals, the Sabbath. And hold on, this is it. For 6 you shall sow your land and gather in its field, but the 7th you shall let it rest and life follow. Okay. And I enjoy this part, and I wish we did this more. I wish we had more like Sabbaths, like actual and like law given Sabbaths. Okay. If I know I'm on in the background, that's totally cool. But if you have anything that you want to add and anything you want to put into the conversation, please let me know in the comment section below. We also got channel rewards and things, so feel free to use them. I'm actually gonna. That reminds me, I need to do something. That's something that I need to do real fast. Boom. Will it work? Yes, it works. So I'm gonna turn this down, and then I'm gonna turn this up. Nope. Hold up. Aha. Okay. Oh, stream this morning was fun. What did you do? What did you do this morning?
Hey, こんにちは。
Konnichiwa. Hey, konnichiwa, verbal. Yo. Hold on. Let me make sure my channel things are working. I'm kind of annoyed. Hold on. They better be working. They better be working. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. It's been a minute. It's so good to see you in the chat. How have you been? Hey, I don't know if you saw me say it earlier, but I wanna congrats to you and the wife. I don't know if y'all know my man's got married. He a whole husband right now, not a half husband. He a whole husband. Everything. Congratulations. Hey, I wish I had. Hold on, let me see if I got something for you. Here we go. This is I don't use this often. But like this is worth it. My man's got married, so we got to hit the double bang. The double bang. Let's go. All right, yeah. Let me hold on. Give me a second. Let me make sure my little alerts are working, yo.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
All right, we're here. They're working. All right, we're here. Yeah. Yeah. What up? Let me see. Okay. Oh, I need to fix that one. That one doesn't have a sound apparently. All right. Okay. I will fix that. Yes. Crazy. We all met from before and y'all practically witnessed the story. I know. Like I kind of want to get all the details at some point, because like I want to know like how this all happened, because I mean I had no idea. I was less. I mean, granted, I wasn't like in all the streams a whole lot. Like I was just watching you do your thing on your stream. I was watching your wife do her thing on her stream, but then when it happened, I was like, okay, congratulations. That actually kind of makes sense. Okay, cool. Bet. Yeah, let's go. All right. But that was smooth. That was smooth. How you just like you just did that in the background, and like we were all just like, oh, okay, they're married. Like no one saw it coming. It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. What else I love is a good Sabbath rest. Okay. I wish we did this more. I wish we had more Sabbaths, because we just like to consume and take, and God says, hey, 6 years you're gonna sow your land, you're gonna gather in this field, but on the seventh year, you're not gonna do anything. You're gonna rest. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Somehow people were saying that they all saw it coming. I was like, I know. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't see it coming. I was just like, I was just living life. I was like, okay, man, cool. I'm streaming, you streaming, he's streaming, they streaming, we all streaming. And I had no clue. There were no hints. Like, I wasn't seeing y'all like flirt in the Among Us stream or anything like that. I didn't see y'all do anything. There were no clues. So good job on keeping that on the low. But on the seventh year, you aren't supposed to do anything. And I think this would be so beneficial for us as a people if we implemented this today, because it will just give us rest. It will give the land time to rest so that, it can do what it needs to do. But we are just a fallen people that are just we just consume and we take and we take, and we just have work as a badge of honor, and we've kind of demonized rest. We've made rest a bad thing. Oh, you shouldn't be chilling. You need to be grinding and you need to be working. But God has he's sanctified a day of rest for us, and I think we would all be better for it if we were to just take advantage of it and say, yeah, I'm supposed to work. I'm supposed to, work hard and not be lazy and earn my keep and do this. But there's a point where it says, okay, there's a point where we get to where we have to say, I have done enough and I need to rest and I need to like recharge and reset. And in my resting, I'm going to trust God, because when the people trusted God on the Sabbath year, everything grew back. Everything grew back. The poor people, they got what they needed to get. The beast got what they needed to get. And everyone was better for it. So, yeah. Let me see. So now I want to get to, there's a covenant, but then I want to get to the last 3 chapters that we read, 25, 26, 27. We read about the sanctuary, or the tabernacle, as it is commonly referred to. And I want to pull this up for us just to give us a better like image, because I wish I had this when I first read the Bible, because I had no idea what the Bible was talking about. All right. Like I thought it was just like a regular size tent. I could not visualize this as I was reading it. But then I took a class some years ago about the tabernacle. Someone gave me a book, showed me some images. I think this is one of them. And I was like, oh, this is what this looks like. And so for those of you who maybe have never like seen like an image of the tabernacle, here you go. Boom. Okay. Was relatively tall. I know we the Bible, the version of the Bible that I'm reading talks about cubits, but it was 45 feet long. It was 15 feet wide, 15 feet high. So it was a pretty big tent, and it had all these different pieces that were meant to be put together and torn down whenever they were moving. And the tabernacle itself, it had so many pieces, and it's beautiful. And like I get excited when I read it. I'll tell you guys why. Because like it wasn't just, the pieces just weren't chosen willy nilly. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm glad you enjoy VP. I'm gonna put it in. I'll put a link to it in the Discord so that if you ever want to refer to it or save it for yourself, I can like it'll be there for you. So, uh, it had all these different parts, and we had like the purple threads and the blue threads and the red, and you had the tent itself, and you had the cover of skin, you had the table of showbread, you had the golden lampstand, you had the altar of incense, and then you had this curtain that would separate the holy place from the most holy place. And so inside the holy place, the most holy place was the Ark of the Covenant. And this is where this is where God would meet with the priest. Okay. And so I'll try to find another picture because the way that I love it, it's beautiful. So the way that the tabernacle, the people were set up when they were settling, like when they were journeying, when they would rest, they would set up in like different camps, but in the middle of the camp was the tabernacle. And the wonderful thing about it is that it's the opening of your tent would face the tabernacle, so that when you woke up in the morning and you opened the tabernacle, it was the first thing that you saw. And then before you went to sleep, when you went to sleep and you close your tent, it would be the last thing that you see. So it's kind of like us, when we wake up in the morning, God is the first thing that we need to meet. Before we go to bed at the end of the night, like God is, the last who we talk to at the end of the night. And so it's like this beautiful thing. And bro, serious about the Christian folk, I love it because not a lot of streamers are doing this. I think we should, like, I mean, first, we should all be reading the Bible first of all, but then like, we got to ask questions. We got to be like, okay, like, I don't know what the tabernacle looks like. Let me go and like see if I can find a picture. Like, what does the tabernacle look like? Da 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 da. And here it is. You get to see all of it, and you get to like, you get to use all the pieces, see all the pieces and like what they're for, and it's so cool. And if you're interested, let me see if I can find this. So I took a trip because I'm from Maryland. And I think in Philadelphia, that's how you say that. Maybe not in Philadelphia. Maybe, let me see. There is a place that you can go to that has like the actual tabernacle built. Like they built like everything to like all the right dimensions, and they have like they have like a little gift shop that you can go to, but then on the outside you can like go and it goes around the Bible Museum. It's not the Bible Museum. It's called the Biblical Tabernacle Experience. And it's in, let me see. It's in Lancaster. It's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I think the tickets are relatively cheap. It's, I don't know how much they cost. I'm trying to look this up right now. But you go inside and you can just see like what the Israelites had in their time. Let me see. The tickets are $15. It's cool. So if you're ever on the East Coast, if you're ever like, I don't know, like New York, Maryland, Pennsylvania, something like that. If you're ever on the East Coast and you're like, oh, I want to see this, it's there. It's there. I'll put that in the Discord as well. But it's so cool. You get to you get to see. Let me pull this up real fast. I'll put this here. So this is what it is. This is like the priest with the ephod and all the stones, and you get to like walk through, and you guys can like set up little groups. Like if you have a church, you want to do like a little trip with everyone, you guys can go. And yeah, there it is. It's in PA. So yeah, man, I would definitely recommend that, so that you can get like an actual scope of what this looks like. And so the purpose of the tabernacle was for God would, this is where God would inhabit while he was with his people. Now, yes, God is in all places at all times, but when he would come down to meet with the people, it would be through the tabernacle. And so once a year, the priest would go in, and on the Day of Atonement, he would make an atonement for the people, like all of their sins, and God would look over or forgive the sins of the people. So the tabernacle it's so cool. Like all these pieces. And I know when we were reading it, it's just like, bro, like it can like almost like give you a headache. You're just like, bro, there's all this gold and all this silver, all these goat skins, acacia wood. Like, what are we talking about here? What is this all about? And that's what it is. What I just showed you. It's the tabernacle where God would dwell amongst his people. Okay. And I think it's beautiful. God wanting to be amongst his people. He doesn't just give them the law and says, okay, go do your thing. I'll be up here. And I'll come down whenever, like I'm angry, like a standoffish dad or something. He's there. Like he's able to meet with them. He presents a way, because man, we can like, yo, like, I think we got to do like a whole thing on the tabernacle. It's so cool. So God is like wanting to present a way to be amongst his people, because as he is, with all of his glory and all of his holiness and all of his power, like no one could like be before the Lord and live like outside of Moses. But like even Moses didn't get all of God. He had to turn away at some point. And so I think it's beautiful that God presented a way for people to be able to meet with him. Okay. How y'all foreground folks doing? This is WRYB Radio. My name is James, aka Wabi J, aka your friendly neighborhood random person on the internet. If you don't know what the RYB stands for, read your Bible. That's what it stands for. We were reading our Bible every single day. I don't know why that's echoing. Hey man, thanks for the alert. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for saying hey. I appreciate it. It's good just to see other Jesus following people and to see that, you're doing well. Nice to know we haven't met in person, but it's nice to just like know you exist. Okay. Like I knew about VP. It's probably going on like 9 months now or something. When I started doing Twitch, but it's good to just like see him growing, and he did the Bible read through, and he married, and I'm just like, look at him, man. Let me hit it again before you go out, man. Have a good lurk, have a good time. We all happy for you. Man's a whole husband. All right. So, let me see. So we got about 10, 11 minutes left. I'm going to try to land the plane on the stream. I'll be taking any music requests to end the stream with. Please put it in the chat. We also have channel points for that too. You can use those just to let me know. As we land the plane on the stream, I want to talk to two people here. Okay, we got those who call themselves Jesus followers. We got those who don't. Those who may reject Jesus, may not know anything about him. Right. So to you, dear Jesus follower, fellow Jesus follower, hey, how you doing? Like don't forget that this is like actual history that we are reading about when we read. We read about the Israelites being freed, about how God gave them the laws to govern themselves, to interact with him and to interact with each other. And it's not too different. We are to abide by the commandments. We are to love one another as God has loved us, to treat one another with kindness and respect, and to also love our enemies, even though they can get on our nerves sometimes. So God gave the people the tabernacle, but we know and we read about later that God wrapped himself in flesh and he dwelt among the people. And Jesus showed up, and he was God among us. He was God with us. He was Emmanuel. And he lived a sinless life. He loved the poor, the sick, the downtrodden, those that the world sent away. He loved you and me enough to die on the cross for us, and we've accepted him. And so now that we are following him, his spirit lives in us. And so essentially we are the tabernacle. We are we get to meet with God and talk with him at any point of the day. It doesn't have to be once a year like it was in the past, but we get to talk to him in the morning, in the evening, and at night. And I would encourage you to take advantage of that. Okay, take advantage that you have been made known. You have not just been made known of him, but you are made his child, and he wants to be there for you. He is a loving father. And sometimes that means he's gonna have to hit you upside the head. Sometimes he might have to put you in your place. But our relationship with God is not something to be taken for granted or to take lightly. And I say this to you and to myself so that we don't live below the position that we have in God. Too often we do this. We start to follow God and we think we got it on our own, and we just say, "Oh, Dad, I'm okay. I got it. I don't need you." But the whole reason that we have begun our walk with God is because we realized we couldn't do it on our own, and we couldn't save ourselves. We couldn't rescue ourselves. We needed a savior, and so we went to him, and he stepped in and he rescued us. And that never changes. God is always there. He's always beside us. And so may we never get to the point where we feel like we don't need God anymore. We don't want anything to do with him. We would rather him be far away and just come to him whenever we need something or whenever things are really, really bad. That would be living below the position that you have in God. You are able to come boldly to the throne, to him. You are able to be a witness in wherever part of the world that you are in. You have been given the power of love and a sound mind. And so walk in that. walk in that. Know that the spirit of Christ is with you and dwelling in you, and you are not the same as you were before. So confidently walk in that. Now, to the person who doesn't know Jesus, doesn't want anything to do with him, there is a true and living God, and you might have your own way of living and conducting yourself in the world, but God's ways are different, and He has you in mind. He has you in mind for how He wants you to interact with Him and how He wants you to interact with other people. And I know it may not seem like it, but honestly, His way is better. I've learned it. A lot of us learn it, and not to say that your way is just bad, but I think at times, if you're honest, you can find it to be lacking and unfulfilling. And there have been times when you have looked out and found that your way of living is unfulfilling and it's not enough, and you've been searching for more. Jesus is that thing. And so I would encourage you to fill that God-shaped hole in your heart with God and not with other things. He is available for you today, and I would encourage you to choose Him. Guys, I want to thank you so much for listening. This has been a fun, wonderful stream. You guys are great as always. Oh, it's great. It's good to see you guys. And thank you guys so much for coming in. I'm gonna play a song. I didn't get any song requests. I don't think. I didn't get any song requests, but I'll play a song, and then as we play us out, drop your emojis in the chat. I'll do a raid to somebody, and yeah, all right. Let me see. All right, okay. I'm gonna hit some buttons over here. Also, I just found out. I just seen this. I need to find where is my I don't think I have it. I thought I had an air horn button out here, and now it's gone. Oh, I got a song request. Okay. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, it is here. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. Shout out to Ruth. All right. Twitch just told me she's been here 5 streams in a row. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. You've been here. Yo, thank you for coming through. Oh my gosh, you like my stream. This made me so happy you came. You've been coming for 5 streams in a row. And oh my gosh, that just makes my heart all swell up, puff up, whatnot. You make me cry on this stream. I can't do that because it's gonna be on the internet forever. It can't be crying on the internet forever. I don't want that. All right, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming through 5 streams in a row. W Ruth. Okay. All right. So I'll put up this song that was requested. Yes, that's such a good song. Hey, that is so appropriate right now. Okay. That's so song requested by Visually. Thank God I'm not alone. Let me see. So let me see. I'll throw that song up. But first, let me find someone to raid to. I hope for those of you who are on this side of the world, it's Wednesday. It's the midday. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And to those of you who are in other parts of the world, in the East Coast and beyond, enjoy your night. Rest well, sleep well. And I hope that you enjoy your Wednesday. Okay. And yeah, take care. I'm going to be raiding out to a good streamer, Aki and Fam. He's currently playing Destiny 2 with his son, and they're so cute. They're so cool. All right. So Let me see your emojis in the chat. This is WRYB Radio. I'm gonna close out with Visually's request. Thank God I'm Not Alone by Claire Leslie. Take care, Lord willing. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned to the Discord to get any notifications about upcoming streams. Until then, God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you more. Take care. This is WRYB Radio. Let me see them emojis. Is that what you call them? Let me see the reactions in the chat, please.